planning to give you the world. So open your minds. It's going to be a very interesting, small, but very impactful journey. I grew up as very, very interested in the world, even as a kid. Meticulously, I was looking into everything that I could. Reading books, listening to adults. Sometimes the gossip was so interesting. I said, wow, that's what happened, that's what people say. So I started to read endlessly, read everything. Fiction, movies, poetry, classic, got into art, then science, then astrology. And little I knew that all of this knowledge all of a sudden came together. And I realized at a very early age, very young, that my home is the planet. That my family is the world. Now fast forward, years later, graduated, have jobs. I was so ready and prepared to take global roles, travel. I end up being in 40+5 countries, working. I led projects with 145 countries. It was difficult. I had to learn a lot, technology, business, but what was really interesting, that part of me that was looking at the world as one big unit, I was almost feeling I'm supporting the family. Now, where are we with all our organizations? What is the world? Let's do some little bit analysis where we are today. Some small statistics. We have 7.2 billion family members on this planet. We have more than 300 million companies, of which, interesting statistics, because we are here, let's just hone into a little bit more detail there. 5% of those companies are in the US. So the impact is high. Then recently in the Forbes, actually you can go into Forbes and find more statistics, details about this report. But in Zurich, Switzerland, apparently they don't just do watches, they do some research too. I was impressed. I said, wow, you do that too. You care about the rest of the world. So they took 46 million companies and investors, actually wealthy, big investors who have big impact on the industry or the economy, and they did a research. How these companies impact the world, this big family. The outcome was outstanding. Out of those 46 million, 700 plus companies do make decisions, 80% of what's happening in the world. And only 147 are actually making it happen. Now, let's dig into 147. And by the way, the list is on Forbes, so you can actually go into. Surprisingly, financial services, or not surprisingly, we're on the top list of those companies listed. The 147 companies that actually kind of make decisions of everything what's going in the world, they are interconnected. They share a lot together in investments. They make decisions for each other. So the world is so interconnected. Those are companies by themselves, but they are so interconnected. So now that we know some statistics, big numbers or small numbers compared to the universe, so let's be realistic. We are only small speck. And when you go bigger, you can't even find planet on the map. So we are just a very small family in the universe. So now we know we have all these companies and we have all these people. The technology helped us to get more connected. We know that. Now, the technology is also forcing us to move forward faster. Everybody heard about fintech, the buzzword of today's, right? Fintech. The small companies all of a sudden are going to make a big difference in how we move forward. So how do we react? The future is fast-paced. The future is interconnected. The future is small planet with all these companies actually making decisions together. Think about the 147. It's a very small number. That's how many CEOs or C-level people can meet together in one room, almost like double this room. Imagine, double this room, they make decisions for the world. And they can, and they are doing it. So who are the future leaders? Who will take this planet to the next level? Well, the formula that I have, and I would like to actually take this to many places, is whatever we do, however we lead, we need to care. We cannot just be knowledgeable. We cannot just be informed, well-educated. It's absolutely not enough to take this fast-paced, very complex, well-connected world to the next level. You have to care, which means you care about the planet and the world like you care about your family. You don't hurt your family when you're making decisions. So how do we get there? And who are the future leaders? I mean, I see very young generation sitting at this table. What do we think you need to do or grow into to run this world? You could be one of those 147 people making decisions sitting at the table. So what does it take to be that leader? I'll start with Jack Welch. He actually said, the former GE CEO, he did say, to become a leader, all you have to do is grow yourself. Once you become a leader, it's all about growing others. So the leader is someone that knows how to get there. And I think I actually have a presentation that I would like you to share at how actually the journey of how you become a leader. I didn't want to repeat that because I had that conversation 2 years ago, but that presentation is still very valid. I'm actually taking it to different countries. I had presentations, so if you don't, Nick, if you can share that, so you can go deep dive into some meticulous details of how to get there. We'll not cover that today. However, let's cover the basics of the leadership moving forward. So we need leaders who care. And caring means you care about people around you. You understand what they need. And then while you do that, then you care about your company, you care about your community, because those people are actually forming some of these groups together. It could be your family, it could be your community, it could be your workspace. So caring leader. In order to become a caring leader, you have to have passion. Like, what is your passion that you care about? And the passion evolves as you grow. A passion could be for someone from 7-year-old passion grows into 77-year-old passion, which is possible. And we actually see that with some musicians or some art. It's just the talent just pushes you forward. And for some other people, passion could grow into during the years. And it's okay, because sometimes when I say, what's your purpose and passion, people say, still don't know. So dig into meticulously into your inner world and say, what is really driving you forward? What is that button as soon as you push, all of a sudden you lighten up, your brain is open, and you just get excited. So what is it? So find that passion. Is it coaching people? Is it designing a solution that you just want to hug, that's your baby, and you actually start caring about that baby, taking it to the world, like Apple, the Apple company did, right? They care about it. They actually take it to different levels. Then that baby grows, and they have more babies. It's like, what is your passion? You have to get that to become the caring leader that we're talking about. It has to take you forward. Now, we all know there are so many rules in this world, old and new and not yet in place, but they will be put in place. What do you do with all these rules to actually push things forward or to do these innovations? Again, going back to my experiences, what I found is there are some rules that will take generations to change. There are some rules will take only a week to change, and some that will take in between. So what do? How do you move forward with your passion and with your care, something that the world needs? Build that thought process that you can, with all your knowledge, experience, network, to come up with an exception to the rule. What you do is you change the rule, not completely, but you make an exception, which means you open the door to the new way of doing things. That's how the world moves forward. Even our grammar, like language. We all learned grammar at school, learned different languages. How many rules have exceptions in grammar? Probably, if not 90, 85, let's just go a little bit reserved, 85%, if not more. So building a rule means there's always a way to find the new ideas to move forward. So please, young generation, and I love you so dearly. I just love the passion, the knowledge that you have, fast, you embrace things, and you actually demand more. Please continue doing that. Don't hold yourself and try to find out what is the way to move forward. Come up with exceptions to that rule. Now, it's hard to attain all these obstacles that you may have. It's not only about rules, it's relationships. You're still there, you cannot have all the influence, authority, role, title, all of that. These are all kind of not obstacles, opportunities, because you have to entertain them. So how do you maintain that? So here is the punchline. Positive thinking. So as a caring leader, passionate leader, with tools of how to innovate and how to go through and come up with the exceptions to the rule, you can do all this journey when you have this positive thinking. Not on Fridays or weekends. Not in the morning or in the evening. All the time. Positive energy is what creates this influence. Actually, with your positive thought process, you get people to follow you. Without having that influence, without having that authority or title. So that's what you want. People who will be with you, and it's your family members. We go back to what Jack said. He said, by the time you're growing, learn. Grow yourself. And then when you're there, start growing others. Extremely important part of the journey when you actually go up and now you have the influence, authority, the whole company, or all this like industry, sectors. The economy is looking at you. How are you going to actually maintain that? You can do that when you have a lot of people behind you as your advisors, as your supporters. So the higher you go, the more back support, side support, and forward support you need. So think about how would you make yourself stronger with all this network that's around you. So leadership is not about you're a good leader. Leadership is about how many people are following you. Who are you leading? Are you leading yourself alone on the mountain? Well, nice job. We can take a good picture on Facebook. And say, okay, nice journey. And that ends right there because you're alone up there. But if you have people around you that will believe you, that's how you will make that big difference in the world. So many people will follow you. So the future leaders are people who are serving their world And actually, I have to say, selflessly, because when you do that, you actually entertain more people next to you, because they think if it's only about your agenda, am I in your agenda? If I'm not, they move on to somebody else. So future leaders, be caring, have your passion, be able to be creative, how to move up with the obstacles and move on with your agenda with others, and stay positive. Those are the characteristics of the future leader that has to have together in this very well connected world. And it's so small. You will actually tap into people 10 years ago you saw with some other company, all of a sudden you move up, and all of a sudden you see this person again. So what we have to think about is the way we impact people, it better be positive. It better be meaningful. We all have agenda to grow, but as you have that agenda built, just built around the people that are working with you or for you, people who need help, and people who will follow you. In conclusion, we are blessed to be living in this century. A lot of things are given to us so easy. It doesn't take 80 days to go around the world, right? It doesn't take 5 hours of library search to find something. Everything is in your fingertips. So take that speed, embrace it, and then be able to make that influence with all these characteristics I mentioned. So this is our home. This is our family. Treat that as you are working, not just in a company, you're working in your family. And with that, a lot of decisions will be made the right way. That medical company will not just push the revenue target and give the medication to the young kids that will actually have for life side effects. Imagine that all of the big decisions that companies are make for everything that impacts us will be made with care, that they don't hurt. Revenue is important, but the caring leaders with passion will actually make the right decisions.